Right, everyone, it is a heat wave. So I am boiling. As you guys know, we are doing the caravan, we're doing the houses up, so we're in caravans, so we're trailers, so we're literally boiling alive like an oven. Right, yesterday I did a video, sorry, not yesterday, my last video a few days ago was the Sensei myth. And Sun Tzu says, if the troops don't understand, first check if you've explained it clear enough. If you've explained it clear enough 3 times, it's their fault. If you've not explained it clear enough, it's your fault. So, because I only did it once, and because it's not clear, I will do it again. Here you go, guys. Right, I've been getting a lot of comments. Like, what about this? What about this guy? What about that? That's a guy. He's an older guy. I am not saying, guys, I'm not saying you can't have an older person in a place of respect that teaches you worthwhile things. What I am saying is this, that it appears, please tell me if you find it wrong, that on the whole, Western people, especially in the 20th century, seem to have a fantasy that revolves around a very old Asian gentleman passing on hidden secrets and knowledge, but that Asian gentleman still has the ability of a fighter a quarter of his age and still gets to defeat the bad guys and knows martial arts better than anyone else. You know what I mean? And that doesn't seem to exist in Japan, unless it's come from us. I'm saying in the 20th century, it didn't seem to exist in Japan. Didn't seem to exist in medieval times in the West. It seems to be a new phenomenon. Obviously, this is the Japanese mania and Kung Fu mania. And I got a lot of people saying, oh, well, yeah, this guy in his 20s didn't beat this guy in his 50s. 50 is still young. We are talking about, if you look at Mr. Miyagi, you look at Pai Mei, you look at that sort of the Socrates from Dan Millman's stuff, and you look at that, they tend to be old people, like really old people. Like Pai Mei is meant to be like 900, you know what I mean? And Mr. Miyagi's clearly old. Then you've got the somebody corrected me, was it Bloodsport or was it Kickboxer? I think it was Bloodsport, which is the one with the Frank Dux story. And same there, Bloodsport and Kickboxer, both show going to an Asian gentleman who can already kick. Somebody also in the comments said that Mr. Miyagi doesn't help Daniel fight. Oh, he does. He beats them up all in their skeleton suits. He gets Kreese. He beats Kreese up. Daniel's being beaten up by Kreese and what's the other guy called? Silver. And he comes in and I think he helps him in every film. So to a level. But my point is this, guys. Just be aware. It's not a problem. You don't have to agree, disagree. Just be aware that there seems to be a fantasy here for something that didn't happen in the past. What we do know, or what we get the feel of from ancient documents, is that samurai just got too old. They were retired off to monasteries to be monks because they just got too old. And there's not much you can do with them. Now, even the ones that did stay around, so for example, this guy, Chikamatsu Shigenori, interviewed Kimura Sensei. And honestly, that's probably one of the other ones. Chikamatsu Shigenori was probably, I can't remember exactly, 2030 when he wrote this stuff down. I'd have to get the dates and work it out. But Kimura Sensei, he's learning ninjutsu off Kimura Sensei, but he sounds old and past it. And he really sounds like he's just complaining and moaning and whinging. He passes on real information. That's like an older gentleman, but he's clearly past it. He's not out there showing, hey, this is the way of the ninja, and I'm out climbing, spider climbing somewhere. He's most likely, as they say in there, sat down, writing it out. They're having conversations, word for word, and he's showing him the arts of the ninja, and then he copies it down. That's the closest I can find. But, and then the other one was artists. I said mostly people do their best work when they're younger. Fighters, athletes, all that sort of stuff. Musicians tend to. But the arts is the only one, which I said art is the only one where it's probably reversed. Like carpenters tend to get better when they get older. Artists tend to get better when they get older. Potters tend to get better when they get older. But which does give you the old sensei vibe. But they're not out fighting, killing bad guys, are they? Because they're better fighters than the youngers. What would really happen if you got an old fighter who is now 70, 80 years old, and there's a moment, guys, where it just doesn't work anymore. I've seen it in many big ferocious fighters, and they just get to there's a moment for them where it goes from it's an old lion with its claws a bit and teeth a bit falling out, but you still don't want to go mess with an old lion, to a lion on its deathbed, like, which is, you know, it can't do anything, it's done. And then the young fighters were doing it. So there is a moment where the fighting ability goes, and then just wisdom is there. So I'm not saying you can't go to older people for wisdom, but this idea that there's the all-rounded, totally sensible, totally healthy, can fight as not as good, better than youngsters, and they take you under your wing and teach you, is a total myth. It's a total myth. I've yet to find, even, not only is it a myth, even the exception against the rule. They're just old people, and in samurai times they were shipped off to monasteries or shipped off to do whatever they did and carried on, or were just in the background of families. So for example, when I went to the temple in Japan, basically Yamamoto-san took over the temple, and he's my age actually, he's coming to 50 or just past 50, and he basically was doing everything, and I didn't know his father was still alive, not alive. It was only after years of me going there that they wheeled the father out, who was in the other, like a gated off. If you've ever been in Japan, if you've got an expanse of land, all of it's gated off in different areas, and it's not open to the public. So I'd never seen it, but this old man kept walking around occasionally. That's his dad, and he was the head priest, but he'd retired and he didn't do it because he was too old. And then now he has died, he's passed away. But so this is the point, guys, is you've just got to be careful of that thingy. But the video did quite well. It's come up to 2,000 hits, which is crazy for me. I've got a few more things to do. Then I'm going to do an update video for my subscribers. But beyond that, guys, it is, look at me, it's not as hot as you get in America. It's not as hot as all that sort of stuff. But England is not set up for the heat. It's not set up for it, and we are all dying of death. So I've not done hardly any work today. My head's ringing. We're going to go to the coast and go dip in the sea and try and cool off a bit. So, and this is going to last for about another week. So you'll probably see red, sweaty face me occasionally. So get yourself a copy of the Book of Ninja, etc., the Book of Bushido. But I'm bringing out a companion book for this, How to Be a Modern Samurai. I'm bringing out a companion which is called Zen and the Samurai Sword. It's out for pre-order now. Go get it. All right, guys. See you later.